Hi, everybody. My name is Shamash, and today I'm going to be sharing with you how you can get into the habit of practicing mindfulness on a daily basis. It's an important habit, and try to access these more deeper meditations when you do that too. So, I will kind of make a bit of a confession here in that although I'm a mindfulness teacher and I've written loads of books on mindfulness, it took me many, many years, and it was only until I think the last year or two that I've been able to practice it every single day, mindfulness meditation. And the reason is, I think, because of I get into the practice of mindfulness and I do it on a daily basis, and I'm practicing regularly. And then I don't know what happens, but there'd be a certain day, like let's say, for example, I'd wake up with a headache or something. I really don't feel like doing it. And then I wouldn't do the meditation practice. And then that day would become another day and another day. And then a week or two, or maybe a few weeks would go by. And then I'd start to feel the effects of not doing mindfulness meditation, being more irritable, not being so compassionate, not being so focused, not feeling so much at ease, and then affecting my sleep. And I think, oh yeah, I really do need to go back into this mindfulness stuff. And then I get back into it. But then I made a bit of a breakthrough realization after all these years, 20 years it took me, which was to do a really, really simple practice. And that was to do one breath minimum per day. And I know it sounds really, really crazy because it's such a short thing, but although I couldn't even commit to sometimes doing a whole minute, I could definitely commit to doing one breath of mindfulness meditation. And so that became my habit. It became a tiny habit. It was based on the research I did on tiny habits and how much more successful they are than trying to do big habits, and how they can be like a seed that you plant and it grows when you practice regularly. So from that moment on, which was about a year ago, or maybe a couple of years ago now, every day, once I woke up, I took one mindful breath, and anything more was a bonus from that moment onwards. And sometimes I did do longer practices, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and then other days really didn't feel like it, and I just managed that one breath, and then usually that one breath became a bit more, but it doesn't have to be. So that was the first thing. And the second thing that really generated the habit was to do it at the same time every day. So if I used to think, oh yeah, I'll do it in the morning, or I'll do it a little bit later on after I've had my shower, or let me have my breakfast. And then it just doesn't happen. And although, mindfulness is actually about being conscious rather than cultivating habits, getting into a routine of a daily habit of mindfulness, it's really, really important. And to do it at the same time is important. So getting up in the morning and doing the practice then is most important for me. So they're the kind of two kind of realizations that I've made over the past year or so. But then the third one that I've discovered in terms of habit building is the power of community. And the Buddha, who was obviously a big fan of meditation and mindfulness and taught a lot about mindfulness, he talked about the three principal elements that are really important for reducing our suffering completely. And that is, understanding his teachings, the Buddha, and the Dharma, so his life and his teachings. But the final important piece is Sangha, and Sangha means community. So it's really, really important for us to cultivate community. But to kind of go to a class every single day in person is really, really hard unless you live in a community where everyone's meditating together at the same time, which is quite rare, but it's possible. And so what the pandemic has offered is the opportunity for me to be in one place rather than traveling. And so I offered this kind of 30-day July meditation challenge, almost as a little experiment for myself and for a small community. I thought it'd be like five or 10 people that might want to meditate together every morning. But actually, it's grown to be, I think almost 100 people signed up, and about half of them regularly turn up in the mornings to meditate together. And so it's always at the same time every morning, and I guide the meditation for that period of time. At the moment, it's from 8 to 8:30 in the morning. And then this whole group of people, who some of them were meditating, some of them were not, suddenly we're all together. We're all part of this Sangha, as the Buddha said. It's all part of this community. They all make a commitment. So I did try a free version of it, but other people didn't turn up, or I didn't turn up. So it works if there's a commitment of just a small payment, just a £1 a day, and that just helps to say that, okay, I've made this small commitment. It's not even the price of a cup of coffee or a tea, but it's something really small. It's a commitment that I've made, and so that I'm going to show up. And I think that's part of the reason why the commitment's higher and people show up, and I show up. And it's been amazing. It's been an amazing journey. And I was just doing an experiment for 1 month, but I'm going to do it again in August as well. And so it's going to be really, really fun, and we'll see how that goes. And it's fun to do them differently as well. One of the things that generates mindfulness is creativity. When something different happens, when the same thing happens every single day, there's no possibility of mindfulness to easily come about, because if we get into the habitual mode of mind. But when something different happens, like for example, I'm talking to you and suddenly there's a loud bang, or suddenly starts raining, for example, or suddenly a rainbow appears, something that I'm not expecting, suddenly I notice. You see, I've turned my attention there. My awareness raises because something different is happening in the environment. And so live guided meditations, which what I'm offering, is great for me and so great for others, because if we're not sure exactly what's going to unfold, like today we did an exercise where we pretended to have mindfulness cream, which had different side effects to it. And that was fun. It was something different. And so I enjoyed it and they enjoyed it because there was something different happening. So in your mindfulness practice, first of all, try and practice at the same time every day. Secondly, start with just one breath, or maybe it's easier if you do a bit more. For me, even a minute can be a bit of resistance, but one breath I can do. And thirdly, if you can, join a community to experience something live, because if then you'll know there'll be something different. Recordings are good too, but I prefer a live experience where there's people in the room, whether it's online or in person, and there's kind of an interactive experience. So that's how to get into the daily kind of mindfulness habit, through those things. And these things are not something that I happen to have discovered and by random chance, and they're working. There's a guy called BJ Fogg, who's a researcher who's been researching habits for decades, and of all the thousands of studies that he's looked at, the thing that really makes the difference is to start small. More small than you think you can do. The problem is that us human beings think we have more motivation than we think we do. We're like, oh yeah, I'm going to start exercising, or I'm going to lose weight by doing this, or I'm going to be more positive by doing this. But then the reality for 99% of people is it's really, really hard to stick to it. But if you get into the routine of starting really small, like a one breath, and then building out from there, it can make such a big difference. So that's a little reminder for you. Cultivate the habit of mindfulness. Do it by starting really small, doing it at the same time every day, and joining in a community. And if you do want to join our community, I will share a link in the comments, because the 1st of August is coming up in a few days' time. And so you can join our 30-day mindfulness challenge. The website's easy, 30daymindfulnesschallenge.com. So you can join in there, and hopefully I'll connect and meet with you at that time. All right, everybody, have a great day, and see you tomorrow. Bye for now.